During the last 2 decades, there have been many events in the world that had marked humanity's history. We have, for example, the Bretton Woods Conference. Formerly known as the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference, was the gathering of 730 delegates from all 44 allied nations at the Mount Washington Hotel, situated in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, United States. The objective was to regulate the international monetary and financial order after the conclusion of World War II. We also have the tragic events occurred in the 9/11. The September 11 attacks were a series of 4 coordinated terrorist attacks by the Islamic terrorist group Al-Qaeda on the United States on the morning of Tuesday, September 11 of the 2001. The attacks killed 2,996 people, injured over 6,000 others, and caused at least $10 billion damage in property. The targets were the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. The attack consisted of crashing 4 hijacked airplanes from the United Airlines and American Airlines, where 2 crashed in each tower while the third reached the Pentagon. The fall initially was steered toward Washington, D.C., but it crashed in the fields of Shanksville, Pennsylvania, thanks to the courageous passengers that gave their lives facing the Raptors and crashing their plane. This is known as the most devastating incident of the USA's history. Finally, we have the invention of the World Wide Web, better known as the WWW. So the Internet existed since 1969, but it was the WWW invention in 1981 by the British scientist Tim Berners-Lee, and its introduction in 1991, then the Internet became an easily accessible network. The Internet is now a global platform for accelerating the flow of information, and is pushing many, if not most, other forms of media into obsolescence. Globalization is the process of international integration arising from the interchange of world views, products, ideas, and other aspects of culture. Terrorism. It has been described variously as both as a tactic and strategy, a crime and a holy duty, a justified reaction to oppression and an inexcusable abomination. Unipolar world. It is when the concentration of power goes to one single polar, the USA. In its most strict sense, this does not mean that the new superpower has absolute power over the entire world, but it has to consider it as a major player in international affairs. The digital era is characterized by technology which increases the speed and breadth of knowledge turnover within the economy and society. It can be seen as the development of an evolutionary system in which knowledge turnover is not only very high, but also increasingly out of the control of humans, making it a time in which our lives become more difficult to manage. Well, this event is related to globalization because, thanks to it, the monetary order could be regulated. Besides, the first negotiations between countries were started. The 9/11 is obviously related to the terrorism concept, thanks to the fact that it was a holy duty, with the object of causing horror in everybody and making a. The WWW invention belongs to the digital era because, if it wasn't because of it, Internet would be nothing. The technology would never evolve as it is nowadays. You wouldn't be using your iPhone or playing online in your Xbox. Because the countries needed the resources from others for living, so they decided to make trades for making the commercialization easier. Fanatic religious purposes. One figure could misunderstand something in their religious codexes and cause devastation because of that. Everything has become instantaneous. Many apparatus obsolete, information access is easier, work doesn't require as many effort as it was 10 years before.